Dogecoin came down and hit the level that I was looking at right over here. I was looking at this trend line on the daily time frame. Let's switch to the daily. I'm on Coinbase chart right now on our Dogecoin Coinbase. We had resistance, 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 giving me a trend line straight like that. And I was saying I want to stay above this trend line. We are still above it, but it does look like we're coming down and testing it again. Let's go back to the 1 hour time frame. I basically just want to stay above that line. But yesterday's video, we had an uptrend. We broke that going to the downside. I was saying the next targets going to the downside would be the previous bottom and that trend line that I was just mentioning. And we pretty much came down and hit that trend line. We got a bounce. And if we just look at the trend lines, if we're looking at the trend lines, we had resistance, resistance, resistance. We had a downtrend going like this, and we actually broke the downtrend going to the upside right here. But if you notice, we're already getting resistance in this area, sitting at around .1, or we got resistance at .16714, somewhere around there, and it looks like we're getting pushed to the downside. Let's switch over to the 5-minute time frame. So yeah, I think so. We had an uptrend, and we broke that going to the downside. The next thing that I'd probably do is look at this downtrend. And let's see, we have resistance, resistance, resistance. We could do this something like this, I think. Let's do that. I think we'll use this resistance and this resistance. It looks like we have a downtrend, and it looks like we're going to come up and test it again. I think the main thing though is I want to stay above that trend line that I mentioned at the beginning. Let's go ahead and go back to that daily. I really want to stay above this trend line. I think if we break that going to the downside, then I'm going to start being more confident on this falling wedge pattern. It looks like we'll probably be testing the downside, or we'll be testing this support line right here. I was watching this falling wedge. I've been talking about this. If you're new to the channel, I have resistance, resistance, resistance on the daily time frame of Dogecoin, and then support, 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 giving me what I think is a falling wedge pattern, which are usually bearish patterns. I think if we break this trend line going to the downside, the next level that I'll be probably looking at is .139, this Fibonacci retracement level, and this previous bottom right here. I like watching the Fibonacci retracements. If you're new to the channel, sorry, I always talk about this in every one of my videos, but if you're new to the channel, Fibonacci retracement, we had a nice big run up. When we start getting resistance, started coming down, I set up the Fibonacci retracement. Fibonacci tool from the bottom to the top gives me levels to watch. And that's the next level that I'm watching right now, is this 61% level sitting at around .139. If we break this going to the downside though, I still want it to stay above this trend line though. Like I was talking about yesterday's video, I would much rather go up than get cheaper Dogecoin, but it's okay. I mean, either way. Let's talk about some other things though. I think the other thing that I was talking about yesterday is the moving averages. Let's go ahead and just delete everything. And we did break the 9 moving average on the daily time frame, which is bearish. I don't really like. So right now we are under the 9 moving average, and I talked about this yesterday. We've been going in and out of the 9 moving average on the daily, so this could just be temporary, but we are under it right now. So I don't like this. I would much rather be on top of the moving average as opposed to below it. I mean, we're really testing it right now. I think we are below it, and it's possible that we could get a breakout. I mean, because we're breaking this going to the downside right now. So, I mean, breakout to the downside is what I mean. So, yeah, I don't like what's happening right now on the 9 moving average of the daily time frame. If we look at the weekly too, I don't know. We'll see. Well, we still have 5 days and 12 hours to, finish this candle. But okay, so we're looking at this 9 moving average, this blue line. When we break above it, it's more possible that we can get support on it and have nice little bull runs. And when we're below it, it's more possible to get resistance on it and actually get pushed to the downside. So yeah, right, we did break the weekly moving average. Okay, so we are above the weekly moving average still. But check out that line, how it's like kind of pointing to the downside. It's like kind of like pushing, it's like kind of pointing down, this right here, that little area. So I don't know. I would have liked to see it. We're still above it though. Let's just say that. Which is good. So we're going to have to wait to see what this candle does this week. 5 more days and 12 hours. Let's see what it does. Let's see. Let's go back to the daily, let's go back to the Dogecoin price, or the 1 hour time frame, I think. Maybe even the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. So like I said, we're watching this downtrend right now. I really want to see us stay above this bigger trend line. We are pushing to the downside right now. Looks like we're about to test that, going to the, maybe test this downtrend, going to the upside maybe. I don't know. I'm really kind of skeptical right now on what's going to happen. I've been looking at that rising wedge for a while on the daily time frame, which is kind of giving me a little bit of bearish vibes, but well, let's see what happens. It's not impossible for us to come back up and break through it going to the upside if we're in a bull market. So just waiting for a breakout out of this falling wedge pattern in my opinion, and I'm just watching those trend lines on the 1 hour time frame pretty much, and on the 5-minute time frame to get a little clue as like to get a nice little zoom in and see what we're doing. Because like, okay, so we're looking at the 5-minute, it looks like we can have a better idea if we break this going to the upside, as opposed to if we go to the 1 hour time frame, it looks like it's not as detailed. So I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I mean, this one was a nice downtrend, broke that going to the upside. We had an uptrend with those supports, broke that going to the downside. I guess you could argue you could kind of bring this over a little bit, something like that, and watch it like that on the 1 hour time frame. So it looks like we're kind of in a downtrend right now, but let's see if we could just pop back up and start heading back to this Fibonacci retracement level sitting at .17330 at least, because we got that bounce that I was looking for. We are still above this. Let's see if we could bounce on that now. Yeah, let me know what you guys think though. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up, and if you want to see the last one, check out this video right here. All right, I'll see you in the next one.